Coming to you live from Angkasa Puri, I'm Syuhaida Arifin and you're watching News at 10. Making the headlines tonight. Sumbangan tunai rahmah financial aid starts from tomorrow. Malaysia claimed first win at 2023 Hockey World Cup. Of cash aid program for the B40 income group, Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah STR, will start from tomorrow. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the government has decided to make the payment earlier in January compared with the initial plan where the aid will be disbursed in March to ease the people's cost of living burden. The first phase of STR payment to 8.7 million recipients under the B40 income group will involve 1.67 billion ringgit and will be credited to the accounts of the registered recipients. Of the 8.7 million recipients, 4 million households will receive 300 ringgit each, costing the government 1.2 billion ringgit. A total of 1.2 million senior citizens without spouses will receive 100 ringgit, while some 3.5 million single individuals will also get 100 ringgit each. The STR recipients in rural areas, including Sabah and Sarawak, will also be paid the cash aid on the same date, whether or not they have bank accounts. In a statement today, Datuk Seri Anwar said the unity government has adopted the Rahmah, or caring approach, to look after the welfare of those who are facing difficulties, especially the vulnerable groups. Those who are eligible for the payment can check their status from tomorrow, and information is available at the official STR portal bantuantunai.hasil.gov.my. The government will have to consider the plight and the future of Employees Provident Fund EPF contributors before they are allowed another round of special withdrawals. The Prime Minister said it is better for the government to look for other effective options to help those impacted by or who had lost their source of income due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking to reporters after attending the Prime Minister's 2023 mandate to release civil servants gathering in Kanga today, Datuk Seri Anwar said currently most contributors have very small amounts of savings, and if the government allows withdrawals again, it will affect the future of the contributors themselves.
Kalau tengok ada orang yang simpan KWSP itu duit itu sedikit sekali. Jadi saya kena timbang tentang keperluan yang mendesak dan juga masa depan mereka. Terlalu kecil. Saya cek jumlah yang ada, majoriti pencarum itu sangat kecil. Jadi saya bimbang tentang masa depan mereka. Jadi lebih baiklah kerajaan cari jalan untuk bantu mereka sementara ini.
Yesterday, a group of EPF contributors, Pertubuhan Aktivis Rakyat Malaysia Pro Rakyat, called on the government to consider another round of EPF withdrawals of up to 30,000 ringgit. Its president, Karun Anwar Osman, said the one-off withdrawal between 10,000 and 30,000 ringgit is a short-term solution so that the people will not run out of cash to spend. In other development, Datuk Seri Anwar has called on the Cabinet and civil servants to emerge from their culture of contentment and earnestly implement change in the national administration.
Sudah mantap sistem yang bergerak sekian puluhan tahun. Tapi harus ada kesediaan, humility to acknowledge. Ada kekuatannya, tetapi bila kita letakkan tokoh baru, harus ada kehasrat untuk bawa perubahan. Semua agama begitu. Nabi Muhammad SAW itu juga seorang tokoh, rasul yang melakukan transformasi. Walaupun saya lebih suka dengan reformasi, tapi tak apalah. Banyak pembaharuan. Jadi tidak benar kalau kita katakan bahawa kita harus ada budaya selesa, culture contentment itu yang menggigit kita.
He said this in his first monthly address to staff of the Prime Minister's Department in the new year. Also present were Chief Secretary to the Government Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali and Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof. The meeting involved 33 departments and agencies under the Prime Minister's Department and other 800 civil servants. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Anwar said the civil servants should criticise actions by the unity government which are found to be in violation of the law. The Prime Minister emphasised that in upholding integrity and principles, civil servants must do what is right, especially in the unity government. Datuk Sri Anwar explained that this was to bolster consensus and solidarity between the national executive leaders and civil servants.
Tetapi yang saya tekankan ialah penguatkuasaan. Apa yang saya pelajari, terutama di Kementerian Keuangan, boleh lihat banyak fail-fail, banyak keterlanjuran. Nak salahkan pegawai, kalau minit daripada menteri, apatah lagi Perdana Menteri, dia patuh. Tetapi saya telah beri pengarahan yang jelas. Kalau ada minit dari Perdana Menteri sendiri pun, kalau dianggap melanggar peraturan undang-undang, sekurang-kurangnya saya dimaklumkan terlebih dahulu. Apalagi kalau di kalangan pegawai di pejabat saya atau pejabat TPM atau menteri.
The Ministry of Defence MINDEF expects to achieve an estimated 7 billion ringgit to 8 billion ringgit in procurement and industrial cooperation program contracts through the Langkawi International Maritime and Aerospace Exhibition 2023 Lima 23. Its Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan said this was because the exhibition was the place where defence industry players gathered and exchanged views.
Kerana dah 4 tahun dan banyak juga negara-negara di rantau Asia Pasifik ini yang sedang meneliti dan menilai untuk membeli aset-aset dan juga procurement side of their punya defence for the respective countries. Jadi di sini tempat berkumpul dan bertemunya banyak pemain-pemain industri pertahanan dan udara dan maritim untuk menjadi tumpuan. Itu sebab saya katakan tadi, Lima 2023 ini akan menjadi tempat tumpuan utama pemain-pemain industri, bukan saja negara, but especially among the industrial players untuk mereka menjalinkan kerjasama ataupun bertukar-tukar pandangan ataupun menjalinkan kerjasama teknologi di antara syarikat masing-masing, insyaAllah.
He also said that the organisation of Lima 23 is one that has been long awaited as it has not been held for 4 years due to COVID-19. Datuk Seri Muhammad also explained that the procurement amount is an estimate as MINDEF managed to obtain over 4 billion ringgit in Lima 19. The international exhibition will be host to at least 600 exhibition companies from 30 countries. Lima 2023 will commence in Langkawi starting 23rd to 27th May. The Transport Ministry has its eyes on improving ferry services ahead of Lima 23. Its Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said he had directed the Marine Department to look into the issues surrounding ferry services. Speaking at a press conference after launching Lima 23 at the Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre MyTech, Loke said this issues does not only involve Lima but also the Chinese New Year period, where there will be a lot of demands going to Langkawi.
We have to look at how to ensure that there is a good services and reliable services, ferry services between the Kuala Kedah and Kuala Perlis and Pulau Langkawi. And as far as airport operations is concerned, the Langkawi airport has been upgraded since the last Lima. So I'm sure that the Langkawi airport can cater to the demands and also the arrivals of more tourists during the Lima events.
Loke also gave his assurance that the ministry would cooperate with the operators to solve any problem. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah granted an audience to Singapore Foreign Minister Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan at Istana Negara today. Dr. Vivian is on a 4-day official visit to Malaysia which began yesterday. Also present were Singapore's High Commissioner to Malaysia, Vanu Gopala Menon, Singapore Foreign Ministry Permanent Secretary Albert Chua and Malaysian Foreign Ministry Secretary-General Datuk Seri Amran Muhammad Zain. Comptroller of the Royal Household of Istana Negara, Datuk Zahari Muhammad Arifin, in a statement said both leaders touched on the matter of strengthening the long-standing special bilateral ties between Malaysia and Singapore. In 2022, Singapore was Malaysia's second biggest trading partner and the biggest in ASEAN, with total trade amounting to 336.73 billion ringgit, a 30.8% increase over the 2021 value. Last year, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and Raja Permaisuri Agong, Tunku Haja Aziza Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria, made a 4-day state visit to Singapore. Still to come, import eggs from India only a temporary measure. Stay tuned. Importing eggs from India is only a temporary measure to help meet consumer demands until the supply in the country becomes stable again. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Muhammad Sabu said, in addition, discussions to reorganize implementation of egg subsidies are also being conducted to increase egg supply in the market. He also said the ministry is looking into and studying suggestions to float the prices of eggs as well as considering subsidies exclusively for the B40 group.
Kita juga sedang bincang termasuk dengan penternak-penternak telur dan kita macam mana nak susun semula hal subsidi ini. Adakah nak diteruskan atau diubah cara supaya kita dapat membanyakkan telur dalam pasaran. Tapi sekarang sebenarnya sudah sampai, dah tak ada lagi. Kalau kekurangan berlaku di Terengganu misalnya gitu, kita arahkan farmer hantar dengan segera. Jadi kekurangan ketara kurang berlaku. Cuma kita harap dia akan lebih baik dalam masa sebulan 2 yang akan datang.
Hypermarkets should set a good example to other industry players by setting affordable prices for goods for the people. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living KPDN Minister Datuk Seri Salahuddin Ayub said industry players should also abide by the rules set by the ministry when it came to pricing goods.
Saya sebenarnya tidak suka mengulas tentang amaran-amaran itu. Tetapi saya rasa pemain-pemain industri yang besar seperti hypermarket ini, mereka boleh menjadi contoh kepada players yang lain dengan tidak melanggari segala peraturan-peraturan yang telah kita tetapkan. Tetapi kalau ada pelanggaran itu, kita terpaksa mengambil tindakan walaupun itu bukan pilihan terbaik kita. Tapi itu bukan pula bermakna KPDN bertolak ansur dengan segala pelanggaran, ya. Tapi saya menasihatkan semua mengikut peraturan dan semua pihak mendapat keuntungan.
Speaking to reporters after visiting a hypermarket in Kuala Lumpur today, Datuk Seri Salahuddin also expressed his satisfaction with various items at the hypermarket being sold below the prices set by the ministry. The Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation MDEC will discuss with the Finance Ministry to determine which fields should be given focus this year. Its Chief Executive Officer Mahathir Aziz said the discussions is vital to allow for the government's allocation in Budget 2023 to be channeled to the targeted recipients. This is more important now than ever as the current unity government is more prudent in its spending and prioritising rakyat and administration issues.
Because that would translate into the kinds of grants that we give. Maybe you want to look at prioritising solutions that can help manage subsidies, example, or to look at how to channel the right subsidies or verify whether we are giving it to the right people or not.
On that note, MDEC has approved of over 40 billion ringgit worth of investments through Malaysia Digital MD. MDEC has set a target of 49 billion ringgit worth of digital investments by 2025, creating 49,000 jobs. Despite a possible global recession, there's optimism for more investments to enter the country against a moderate growth backdrop. Daughter of Thailand's former PM Thaksin seeking premiership, and there are more coming up after this. The daughter of Thailand's self-exiled former leader Thaksin Shinawatra has declared her readiness to run for Prime Minister in an election this year as the main opposition seeks to regain power after being ousted in a coup 8 years ago. Petong Tan Shinawatra, whose father Thaksin and aunt Yingluck Shinawatra both led governments toppled by the army, will run under the Pheu Thai Party, the latest incarnation of a populist movement founded by her billionaire family 2 decades ago. Pheu Thai, which is hugely popular among the rural and urban working classes, won most seats in the last election in 2019 but was unable to form a government. Petong Tan, 36, has attended party rallies in the past year and has led opinion polls in recent months on top Prime Minister candidates far ahead of incumbent Prayut Chan-o-cha, who as army chief overthrew Yingluck's government. Both Yingluck and Thaksin are living overseas to avoid jail terms handed down under military rule. Prayut has been in charge since 2014, initially as junta leader and then Prime Minister picked by Parliament after a 2019 election that his critics said was held under rules designed to keep him in power, which he insists he earned the role fairly. Prayut, 68, joined the new United Thai Nation Party last week, hinting at a bid to remain premier. He has yet to dissolve Parliament and an election must be held by May. Italy's Carabinieri released today arrested Matteo Messina Denaro, the country's most wanted mafia boss who had been in the run for 3 decades. Messina Denaro, who was detained in the Sicilian capital Palermo, is alleged to be boss of Sicily's Cosa Nostra mafia. He has been sentenced in absentia to a life term for his role in the 1992 murder of anti-mafia prosecutors Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. He also faces a life sentence for his role in bomb attacks in Florence, Rome and Milan, which killed 10 people the following year. Police said in September 2022 that he was still able to issue commands relating to the way the mafia was run in the area around the western Sicilian city of Trapani, his regional stronghold despite his long disappearance. Brendan Fraser gave a highly emotional, choking speech in which he thanked voters for his Best Actor prize from the Critics' Choice Association for The Whale in Los Angeles on Sunday. Fraser, a major Hollywood star in the late 1990s and early 2000s with hits such as The Mummy, had endured a long fallow period before his performance as a morbidly obese teacher in his new drama drew widespread acclaim.
Kate Blanchett.
Meanwhile, Australian actor Kate Blanchett accepted a Best Actress gong for her performance as an ambitious, morally dubious conductor in classical music drama Tar. The Critics' Choice Award are one of the raft of major awards shows in the build-up to the Oscars, which take place this year on 12 March. Surreal sci-fi Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture at Sunday's high-profile Critic Awards, boosting its hopes for the top Academy Award prize. The film finished the night with the most film wins on 5, including Best Director for Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, Best Original Screenplay, Best Editing, and Best Supporting Actor for Oscar favourite Ki Hui Kwan. Among the night's television prizes, the 6th and last season of Breaking Bad spin-off Better Call Saul finally claimed its first Best Drama Series win, as well as Best Actor for Bob Odenkirk and Best Supporting Actor for Giancarlo Esposito. Next in sports, mighty Gunners extended lead at Premier League table. Stay with us. Malaysia came from behind twice to edge Chile 3-2 and registered their first win in a hard-fought Group C match in the Men's 2023 Hockey World Cup at the Bersama Stadium in Rockela, India today. Chile, despite making their maiden appearance at the World Cup stage, gave the Speedy Tigers a torrid time throughout the entire match. Malaysia started the match on a positive note and came close to taking the lead in the second minute, but Muhammad Firhan Ash'ari's shot went wide. However, despite the early scare, Chile ranked world number 22 shocked coach A.R. Sevaraj and his boys by taking the lead in the 19th minute through Juan Amoroso's penalty corner strike. 6 minutes later, though, Malaysia drew level with the country's very own penalty corner specialist, Muhammad Razi Abdul Rahim, equalising from a penalty corner strike in the 25th minute. But 3 minutes later, Martin Rodriguez restored Chile's lead when he nailed a quick counter-attack. Stunned by the second goal, the Speedy Tigers showed more urgency when the second half started, and from one of such moves, Muhammad Ashran Hamsani scored a well-coordinated field goal in the 40th minute to once again draw level. The equaliser seemed to have restored the confidence of the Speedy Tigers, and just a minute later, Nur Shafiq Sumantri ensured all 3 points for the nation with a penalty corner strike. The national bowling squad continued to show an excellent performance when they managed to win the gold medal in the men's team of 5 event, in addition to making a clean sweep in the men's all event at the 26th Asian 10-pin Bowling Championship ATBC today. In the action at the South China Athletics Association Bowling Centre in Hong Kong, the national team were initially only able to finish third in the first block after dropping 3,607 pins. However, the team consisting of Muhammad Rafiq Ismail, Shafiq Ridwan Abdul Malik, Muhammad Shazirul Shamsuddin, Tun Hakim Tun Hasnul Azami, Timi Tan and Ahmad Muaz Fishol rose to the occasion to seize first place in the second block after making 7,323 pin drops to win the goal. The results achieved by the national squad cast aside the challenge of the United Arab Emirates team, who had to settle for silver with 7,079 pinfalls, while third place was won by the South Korean squad, who downed 7,044 pins. In the meantime, Muhammad Rafiq also created a sensation after winning gold in the men's all event by making the highest pin drops of 6,128, followed by compatriot Timi, who won silver with 6,073 pinfalls. Bronze belonged to Tun Hakim, who collected 5,954 pinfalls, while the national squad also took the 4th and 5th positions respectively through Ahmad Muaz and Shafiq Ridwan. So far, Malaysia are in the first place in the overall medal tally with 3 gold, 5 silver and 3 bronze. English Premier League leaders Arsenal put on a masterclass to overwhelm shell-shocked North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur 2-0 away. The victory meant Arsenal enjoyed their first league double over Spurs since the 2013-2014 season, and more importantly put them firmly in control of the title race. The Gunners flew out of the blocks from the opening whistle and built a first-half lead through a clumsy and own goal by Spurs keeper Hugo Lloris and a sublime striker from Martin Odegaard. Tottenham were totally outplayed by a fired-up Arsenal side under Mikel Arteta, who were determined to make amends for a loss at Spurs last season that ultimately cost them a top 4 place. They dominated first half and belted gamely in the second, leaving Tottenham boss Antonio Conte looking glum in the sidelines as he clapped his hands to rally his sorry side. Striker Harry Kane, needing one more goal to equal Jimmy Greaves' all-time Spurs scoring record, had chances either side of the break, but keeper Aaron Ramsdale was equal to them. The win puts Arsenal on 47 points from 18 games ahead of Manchester City on 39, with Newcastle United, who played a game more, and Manchester United a further point back. Spurs ended the 5th place with 33 points from 19 matches. Moving on to Spanish Super Cup, Barcelona were crowned champions after goals from Xavi, Robert Lewandowski and Pedri earned them a 3-1 win over bitter rivals Real Madrid. Barcelona were dominant in every aspect of the game and took advantage of 3 mistakes by Real Madrid to score. They took the lead in the 33rd minute after Real defender Antonio Rudiger passed across his own area to Barca's Sergio Busquets, who began a move that ended with Xavi all alone inside the box to score with a precise left-foot strike. Lewandowski extended the lead 12 minutes later on the counter when Frankie de Jong found Xavi, who ghosted in behind Real's defensive line. He sprinted through the left channel before putting it on a plate for the Polish striker, who tapped into the back of the empty net. Real Madrid, who had no shots on target in the first half, spent most of the second in panic mode trying to avoid a bigger defeat. Yet once again, a costly mistake allowed Barcelona to score. Substitute Dani Ceballos lost the ball in midfield and Xavi sprinted forward and crossed for Pedri to fire point blank into the empty net. Karim Benzema scored a consolation goal from Real in added time, striking home on the rebound after Marc-Andre ter Stegen denied his first attempt. Qatar's Nasser Al Attiyah won the Dakar Rally Car Crown for the 5th time on Sunday. Al Attiyah, the reigning champion for Toyota with French co-driver Mathieu Baumel, finished the final 14th stage to Dammam on the Gulf Coast with a lead of 1 hour and 20 minutes over France 9 times World Rally champion Sébastien Loeb. The Qatari, who led from stage 3 as rivals hit trouble, now ranks second in the list of all-time winners in the car category, behind 8 times champion Stephanie Peterhansel of France. Loeb had won a record 6 stages in a row up to Sunday for the Bahrain Raid Extreme team, but compatriot Ghislaine Chicheret took the final honours in Dammam. Brazilian rookie Lucas Moraes finished 3rd overall in a Toyota Hilux for overdrive racing. On the bikes, Benavides beat Australian Toby Price, also a double Dakar champion who had started the day 12 seconds clear, by 43 seconds after winning the final sprint to victory. American Skylar House finished 3rd overall for the Husqvarna factory team. Frenchman Alexander Giraud won the quad bike title for the 2nd year in a row, while Dutch driver Jannes van Kesteren took the truck category in his Iveco, ending a run of success for Kamaz dating back to 2017.
Jangan lupa saksikan 4x4 perlawanan siaran langsung hoki lelaki Piala Dunia 2023. Eksklusif di saluran Sukan RTM dan OK. Berikan sokongan padu anda kepada Speedy Tigers. RTM, sukan untuk semua.
Alright, so that ends news at 10. Wrapping up with a reminder of our top story. Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah financial aid starts from tomorrow. Join us for more updates at 12:30 tomorrow. Till then, I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Stay tuned to saluran Berita RTM and salam perpaduan.